Good morning. I hope you're all fine at home. Today we are going to discuss a new topic, the brave water. And before you go to the lesson or the story, let us know about the author. Margaret Sheik was a great storyteller. He was very much interested in telling folk and mythological stories of Asia. He traveled across many Asian countries and collected interesting short stories from various countries and published them in English. He translated many famous Indian folk stories into English. The present short story, The Brave Potter, is a very popular Telugu one collected by him from India. We know children like stories. Every time children ask the parents and grandparents to tell bedtime stories because children enjoy the stories. And not only children, and even we also like to read and tell stories. Here, Margaret Sheik has chosen a very well known Indian folk tale for retelling in English. Children and adults alike are fond of folk tales, which are often amusing and sometimes instructive. Now let us discuss about the story, The Brave Potter. It was dark. Thick and black clouds covered the evening sky. The thunder roared, and the strong wind shook the branches and leaves of the trees in the forest. Pit, pat, pit, drops of rain fell. Then the lightning flashed and split the black sky with its blinding light. Soon it was raining heavily. We know very well it rains more or heavily in the forest areas. Then, when it was raining, an old tiger ran through the rain looking for the shelter. He was wet and cold, and his cave was far away. And while hurrying to his shelter, he saw an old hut. With a sigh of relief, the tiger crawled under the thatched roof and lay down by the door. Except for the sound of the rain, all was quiet. Before he could nod off, however, he heard something heavy being dragged inside the hut. This was followed by a voice of a woman. And here in the story, as it was raining heavily in the forest, we know there will be many animals in the forest. And here in our story, an old tiger is the main character here. An old tiger ran through the rain looking for the shelter. Since it, since it was raining, the old tiger got wet, and then it was raining, and then he ran towards the cave. And since his cave was very far away, and while hurrying to his shelter, he saw an old hut in the middle of the forest. When the tiger saw the hut in the middle of the forest, with a sigh of relief, the tiger crawled under the thatched roof and lay down by the door. The tiger wanted to take rest till the rain stopped. And since the tiger was tired of running and wet in the rain, and very soon he felt sleepy. Then, except for the sound of the rain, all was quiet in the forest. And before he could nod off, the tiger heard something heavy being dragged inside the hut. This was followed by voice of a woman. Then the voice said, "Oh, how terrible this leak is!" She complained. "How terrible! I would rather meet a tiger in the forest than have this leak in my house. Then, when the woman spoke these words, or when the tiger heard these words, the tiger was frightened and then wondered because the woman said, "Oh, how terrible this leak is! How terrible! I would rather meet a tiger in the forest than have this leak in my house." Then the tiger wondered, "What? A leak? What is a leak? It must be a very dangerous and strong, or the woman would not be more frightened of the leak than of me." Because we know and we all think that tiger is the king of the forest. All the animals in the forest will get frightened of the tiger. And here the tiger thought, "I am not rightly called the king of the forest? Aren't they all afraid of me? I wonder what a leak looks like." Then, soon afterwards, the tired tiger fell asleep. Since the tiger got wet in the forest and tired of running in the rain, so he felt tired and then he, and he wanted to sleep. He was suddenly awakened by an angry voice shouting in his ear. He felt heavy blows fell upon his head and shoulder. So now here, as the tiger was lying just in front of the door of the hut, just sleeping, then he felt heavy blows fell upon his head and shoulder. And earlier, the tiger thought that the leak must be a dangerous animal. Otherwise, the woman won't be afraid of the tiger. Then the voice shouted, "You terrible beast!" Voice screamed angrily. "How dare you run away? How dare you make me walk about in the middle of the night trying to find you? Be careful. One of these days I will kill you. Now go home," shouted the voice. When the tiger heard these words, the old tiger shivered with fear. Then he did not know what to do. Then old tiger shivered, and the tiger thought, "This must be the leak who has come out of the hut. I would rather do as he says, or he will kill me," thought the tiger. We know tiger is very ferocious animal, like a lion, and then tiger is called the king of the forest. And all the animals in the forest, not all animals, even we also are afraid of the tiger. But here, according to the story, the tiger heard a word called leak. Then the tiger thought that this leak must be a dangerous animal than him. Then the tiger thought, "This must be the leak who has come out of the hut. I would rather do as he says, or he will kill me." So the tiger allowed himself to be bound around the neck with a thick rope. So now here what did the creature did? The creature is trying to bind the tiger with a thick rope. Then the mysterious creature then climbed onto the tiger's back and pulled at the rope. Since the tiger was very old and then get frightened of the leak or the mysterious creature, then he allowed himself to be bound around with a thick rope. The mysterious creature then climbed onto the tiger's back and pulled at the rope. "Come on, head for home," shouted the voice. The tiger felt a sharp kick on his side. The tiger was terrified and he ran through the dark forest. The creature pulled hard on the rope to tell him which way to go. Now, as tiger was afraid of the mysterious creature, the tiger did not react and moreover, he obeyed the shoutings and orders of the mysterious creature. The tiger was terrified and he ran through the dark forest. The creature pulled hard on the rope and tell him which way to go. At the same time, it shouted, it scolded, cursed, and kicked the poor tiger. Here, the mysterious creature not only tying the tiger with a thick rope around his neck and climbed on his back, but also began to kick the poor tiger. Soon, they stopped in front of a small hut on the edge of the thick forest. When the tiger and the creature come out of the forest and reach a small hut on the edge of the thick forest, the creature climbed down from tiger's back and bound him with an iron chain to a nearby tree. So now what did the creature did? The creature climbed down from the tiger's back and bound him with an iron chain to a nearby tree. Then he went inside the hut. The tiger could not free himself from the chain, so he had to spend a miserable night under the tree. Then the tiger began to think, who was this creature who was able to capture such a large and dangerous tiger? Now let us find out. Now here there is a beautiful picture of a tiger and a mysterious creature. Here a mysterious creature climbed onto the back of the tiger and he bound the tiger with a thick rope around his neck and began to give directions to which way to go. And on the afternoon of the day, a potter had arrived home after a hard day's work. He was tired and thirsty. He had asked his wife for some palm wine. The more he drank, the better he felt. When he had drunk all the wine, he no longer felt tired. One afternoon, on the afternoon of the day, a potter arrived home after a day's hard work. So, after working hard on the day, he came home. And since he was tired and thirsty, he had asked his wife for some palm wine. And his wife gave, gave him palm wine and he drank. The more he drank, the better he felt. And when he had drunk all the wine, he no longer felt tired. And the evening, when the storm began, the potter suddenly remembered that he had left his donkey tied under a tree. He rushed, he rushed out of his hut to take the animal into the stable. You can imagine his anger when he discovered that the donkey was not there anymore. The only thing left was its chain. So, when the storm began, the potter suddenly remembered that he left his donkey tied under a tree and he wanted to bring the donkey inside the stable. And when he went out, to his surprise, his donkey was not there. Only the chain was left to the tree. Then he thought, my stupid donkey must have run off into the forest. He grumbled. When I catch him, I'll give him good beating. Then the poor potter walked through the wet forest. And when it became dark, he often stumbled over roots and fallen branches. With each step, the potter felt angrier with his donkey. And when I catch him, I will tie him up under the tree all the night, he muttered to himself. Hours later, the potter reached the old woman's hut in the forest. So now according to the story, the potter's donkey left. It might have gone somewhere, and the potter thought that the donkey had gone into the forest. Now the potter going to the forest in search of his lost donkey. Since it rained heavily, the forest was wet, and he began to walk through the wet forest. And when he was and when it became dark, he often stumbled over the roots and fallen branches. And with each step, the potter felt angrier and angrier with his donkey. So he said, when I catch him, I will tie him up under the tree all night, he muttered himself. Hours later, when he was going in search of his donkey, he reached a small hut. The potter reached the old woman's hut. There, he saw an animal sleeping in front of the door. Here, when the potter came, he saw an animal sleeping in front of the door. That there he is, he shouted. There he is, the stupid animal. Since the potter drank palm wine, he did not notice the difference between the donkey and a tiger. He kicked and beat the sleeping tiger. He then jumped onto the frightened animal's back, rode it home, and tied it up with the iron chain. Now we know the difference between a donkey and a tiger. Here, since the tiger drank palm wine, he did not notice difference between a tiger and a donkey. Now, he took the tiger for his donkey and brought it home. He then jumped onto the frightened animal's back and, and tied the animal with a thick rope and brought it home and tied it up with the iron chain. Next morning, the villagers who passed the potter's house looked in amazement at the tiger tied to a tree. The next morning, when all the villagers who were passing by the potter's house noticed a tiger tied to a tree. Soon, the news spread throughout the village that the potter had caught a tiger and tied it to a tree in his yard. Then all the villagers praised his courage. They also thanked him because the tiger had eaten many of their goats and buffaloes. They had tried to catch him for many years but had failed. Of course, the potter said that he had done nothing of the sort. So when all the villagers saw the tiger tied under a tree, they all began to praise the potter for his bravery. And not only that, all the villagers also were trying to catch the tiger or kill the tiger for many years, but they had failed because the tiger had eaten many of their goats and buffaloes. And when the villagers praised the potter for his bravery for catching the tiger and tying up to a tree, he said he had done nothing of the sort. And he said that he had only brought his donkey home. He did not understand how a donkey could change into a tiger. And when he saw the tiger, he fainted. So, nobody, however, believed the potter's story. The villagers even praised him for being modest. Soon, the potter became famous for his bravery, and everybody who met him called him the brave potter. The simple potter himself never understood why. A few years later, war broke out between the potter's country and a much stronger neighbor. The king immediately gathered a large army, but he realized that it was not strong enough to save his country from defeat. He needed a hero to lead his army. Where could he find such a brave man? Then the king hurriedly called his ministers together and asked their advice. Then one of the ministers remembered the story of the brave potter. Then the minister narrated how the potter caught the tiger and tied it to a tree with his bare hands. Then, Your Majesty, the minister said, I know someone who can lead the army. Then the king immediately sent a messenger to the potter's house. When the potter realized that he had been made the general of the army, he became frightened. And the king had ordered him to go to the palace the next day. The poor potter was frightened and amazed why he was made the general of the army. How could he, a poor ignorant potter, become the general of the army? He had never carried a sword, nor had he nor had he ever ridden a horse. That night, the potter could not sleep. Why? Because the king made him the general of the army. And now, how can he lead the army? Because he never rode a horse and never hold a sword. So, that night, the potter could not sleep. He was nervous and worried because he did not know how to ride a horse. And he began to think, if I fall off, everybody will laugh at me, he thought. I will get up early in the morning tomorrow and practice riding the horse, the potter thought. At dawn, the potter woke up his wife and they went to the stable. Here, stable is the place where we keep the animals like horse, donkey, and so on. At night, here, since the potter was made the general of the army, he could not sleep because he did not know how to ride a horse and then he never hold a sword. He was nervous and worried because he did not know how to ride a horse. And he thought, if I fall off, everybody will laugh at me. He thought, I will get up early tomorrow and practice riding the horse. At dawn, the potter woke up his wife and they both went to the stable. They saw the beautiful black horse ready for his new master. His wife found some rope and bound her husband's feet tightly to the stirrups. She then passed the rope underneath the horse and tied the two stirrups together. She also passed a length of rope around the potter's waist and tied him to the stable so that the potter won't fall off. Now, please tie my hands to his neck, said the potter. Now, as his wife was tying the feet and hands, and waist of the potter to the black horse stirrups. And now he told, "Now please tie my hands to his neck," said the potter. Meanwhile, the big black horse was impatiently pawing his hoofs on the ground. How long a horse can wait? Now the horse became impatient. He wanted to jump out of the stable and run to the field. When the potter's wife tried to pass another rope around his neck, the horse suddenly jumped free. It galloped out of the stable with the potter hanging like a sack of rice on his back. Only the ropes kept him from crashing to the ground. The potter held tightly to the horse's neck and prayed to all the gods to save his life. Here, when the horse was galloping, the potter could not control the horse because he did not know how to control the horse, nor he did not know how to ride a horse. So he fell on his back like a sack of rice. Then he began to then hold tightly to the horse's neck and pray to all the gods to save his life. After galloping through the quiet streets, the horse crashed through the city gates and raced across the open fields. It leapt over fences and streams and began to head for the enemy's camp. When the potter realized where they were going, he tried harder than ever to stop the horse. He pulled wildly on the reins, but it was no use. The horse galloped on. The potter tried his best to stop the horse by pulling the reins hard, but still the horse did not stop and then continued to gallop. And when they passed a young tree, the potter grabbed a branch, thinking that the horse would stop. But the horse did not stop. Instead, the tree was pulled out of the ground. A sentry from the enemy's camp saw the potter galloping towards the camp with a tree in one hand and his reins in the other. And the sentry thought, that must be the general who captured a tiger with his bare hands, he thought. So when the sentry saw the potter galloping towards the enemy's camp with a tree with one hand, with reins in another, the sentry was frightened at the potter and he thought, that must be the general who captured a tiger with his bare hands. Now he has uprooted a tree with only one hand. He is not an ordinary man. He is a giant. Run, run, save your life. The famous tiger general is coming at the head of the large army to attack us. He has the strength of a giant. He has uprooted a tree with one hand, shouted the sentry. So when all the soldiers heard the sentry's voice, and they were all surprised and they were all frightened. The frightened soldiers fled from the scene. Their king was left by himself in his tent. And when the king saw his soldiers running away from the enemy's camp, from the battlefield, or from the camp, and he also hurriedly wrote a letter begging for peace and apologizing for attacking the country. He left this letter in his tent. Then he jumped on his horse and followed his soldiers. When the potter's black horse reached the deserted camp, it stopped. With shaking hands, the potter untied his feet and fell to the ground. And when he looked around, he was surprised to find the camp empty. He looked in the king's tent. He found the letter. The puzzled potter walked back to the city with the letter in his pocket. He went to his wife and gave the letter to her. Here, when the potter saw the camp was empty, and when he entered into the king's tent, there he found a letter. He picked up the letter and walked back to the city, and he gave the letter to his wife. He said, "Dear wife, never in my life will I ride a horse again. Please take this letter to our king and tell him that the enemy has run away. I am going to bed," said the potter to his wife. And his wife ran towards the palace with the letter. His wife went to the palace and handed the letter over to the king. When the king read the letter, he was full of praise for his new general. He asked the potter's wife where her husband was. And she said, "My husband is tired, Your Majesty. The servants have put him to bed," answered the wife respectfully. Then the king said, "Let him rest today. Tell him to come tomorrow to receive his reward," the king said. The next morning, the potter went to the king's palace. Do you know how he go? How he went? And did he go by the riding the horse? No. He left the black horse in the stable and walked to the palace with his wife. The streets were filled with cheering crowds. When the people heard about the potter's story and the enemy running away from the camp, even the people also were surprised, and they are filled with amazement, and they're all ready to cheer him. The streets were filled with cheering crowds. They had all heard about his brave action. "See how humble he is," they said to each other. Any other man would ride to the palace on a horse, but he is walking like an ordinary man. "He is truly a humble and brave man," said all the people. And when the potter went to the palace, the king rewarded the potter so well that he need not to work again. The country was peaceful for the rest of his life, and the potter never rode a horse again. So this is the beautiful story. Now let us see the glossary. Blinding, very bright, attached, covered with dried straw, nod off, fall asleep, palm wine, toddy or fermented palm juice drunk by village folk. Muttered, spoke something that cannot be heard. Your Majesty, way of addressing a king or queen. Saddle, a leather seat for a rider on a horse. Stirrups, metal rings that hang down on each side of a horse saddle and used to support the rider's feet. Pawing, touching something repeatedly with a paw. Hoofs, the hard parts of the feet of some animal like horses. Crashing, falling, reins, long leather bands held by a horse rider to control it. Sentry, guard, or a soldier whose job is to guard something. Uprooted, pull a tree or a plant out of the ground. cheering crowds, a large gathering of people shouting in joy. Now let us see the home task. The king had ordered the poor ignorant potter to become the general of the army after he heard the story of the brave potter. The potter went forth. Now, write a possible conversation between the potter and his wife based on the context. Thank you, children.